chosen one. God is speaking to you right now. This is not yesterday's word, and it is not meant for later. It is for this exact second in time. You are not here by accident. This message is your divine interruption, your wake-up call from heaven, and it carries the authority of eternity. A letter has been written in the realm of glory with your name on it, sealed in fire, carrying not just a promise, but a sacred contract, one that unlocks wealth, healing, restoration, and the purpose they tried to strip from your bloodline. The inheritance has always belonged to you, but darkness fought to bury it, distract you from it, and convince you to walk away from what was rightfully yours. But heaven has issued a divine release, and the timing is now. This is not just opportunity. This is destiny on the line. If you walk away, the door will not remain open, not because heaven is cruel, but because the divine realm operates by alignment and appointed time. Hesitation is a lie, whispered by the enemy. Delay is silent agreement with loss. What's standing in front of you is not just a blessing. It is a rescue, a divine reversal, a supernatural shift prepared to launch you from survival into overflow. The very things you've been crying out for in secret are now standing at your doorstep. They are moving, they are knocking, but they will not stay if you refuse to respond. The moment you say, yes, chains break. The moment you agree, the scroll opens. This is not the time to shrink or question. This is the time to rise and receive everything heaven wrote for you. Your name is written. The door is open. The choice is yours. Will you walk through it? If this word pierced your soul and you know heaven is calling your name, don't scroll past comment 77. I say yes to what heaven wrote for me. This is more than words. It's alignment. It's agreement. It's your spirit testifying. I won't miss my moment. Let the realm of glory see your yes. Chosen one. You were not selected by accident, nor were you placed on this earth without reason. From the moment your soul was spoken into existence, there was a seal upon your name, one that marked you for divine assignment. You have always felt different, not because something was wrong with you, but because something was sacred within you. The ache you carry, the restlessness in your spirit, the feeling that you were born for more, it is all evidence of the calling that rests on your life. You were set apart before you even knew the meaning of separation. What others called isolation was actually consecration. While they blended in, you were being pulled out. While they chased approval, you were being preserved for a higher purpose. The pain you endured was never pointless. The silence you sat in was never empty. Every tear you cried was counted. Every betrayal was allowed not to break you, but to shape you into someone who could carry glory without pride, power without corruption, and blessing without compromise. C.S. Lewis in The Weight of Glory wrote, "There are no ordinary people. You have never talked to a mere mortal." This profound truth underscores the sacred uniqueness of your calling, your sense of being different, of carrying an ache for something greater, is not a flaw, but a divine marker. You are not a mere mortal. You are a chosen vessel set apart for a purpose that transcends the ordinary, forged through trials to carry an extraordinary inheritance. You were chosen not because you were the strongest, but because you endured what others would have collapsed under. You kept your heart alive when the world tried to turn it cold. You loved through abandonment. You prayed through silence. You rose through rejection. Heaven watched you walk through fires that were meant to destroy you, and instead they refined you. That is why the inheritance cannot go to anyone else. It was not made for them. It was preserved for you. They mocked you for your delays, but they had no idea that what looked like delay was divine protection. What seemed like loss was hidden preparation. You were never being left behind. You were being positioned for release at the appointed hour. And that hour is now. Your name has returned to the scroll. Your authority is being reinstated. The oil is being poured out again. This is why the enemy fought you so hard, because he saw the magnitude of what you would carry once you remembered who you truly are. He tried to break you before you ever saw your crown. He tried to distract you before you ever reached the door. But heaven has overruled the interference. The call has gone out again. The inheritance is being unlocked, and only you can claim it. Chosen one, it is time for you to understand the delay, not with bitterness, but with revelation. The truth is your letter, your scroll, your divine inheritance was never denied to you. It was withheld, protected, sealed away, not because you were unworthy, but because the timing was not yet safe. The spiritual atmosphere around your life had been polluted by envy, betrayal, and false alliances. There were hands reaching for what was never theirs. There were voices speaking over your name with poison on their tongues. If the scroll had arrived in the presence of those who secretly sought to destroy you, it would have been intercepted, misunderstood, or mocked before you ever saw its glory. That's why heaven said, wait, not as punishment, but as protection. C.S. Lewis in the Screwtape Letters warned, the safest road to hell is the gradual one, the gentle slope, soft underfoot, without sudden turnings, without milestones, without signposts. This insight illuminates the subtle dangers that surrounded your delay. The envy and betrayal you faced were part of the enemy's gradual strategy to keep you from your inheritance, lulling you into doubt or distraction. The divine pause was heaven's signpost, ensuring you did not drift down this deceptive path, but were preserved for the moment when you could claim your scroll with clarity and strength. The realm of the Spirit saw what you could not. While you prayed for answers, others plotted behind closed doors. While you wept for clarity, someone was whispering lies to shift the narrative of your life. There were people in your circle who called you family but carried daggers behind their smiles. There were moments when the scroll was ready to be delivered, but the hands you would have passed it to were unclean. They would have distorted the message, manipulated your mission, and made you question your rightful position. Heaven saw it. That is why the delivery was delayed. Even deeper still, there were times when the scroll tried to reach you, but your soul was too wounded to open it. The trauma had clouded your discernment. The heartbreak had made you numb. You had been so trained to expect disappointment that you would have mistaken the inheritance for another attack. That is why heaven paused, because something this holy cannot be received in fear. It must be welcomed in faith, and you were still surrounded by noise, distractions, illusions, and unresolved grief. Had you opened the scroll, then you would have missed the truth written inside. You would have rushed past it, or worse, handed it to someone who never carried the weight of your suffering. And so heaven waited not idly, but intentionally. While you thought the silence meant abandonment, it was actually preparation. The delays became the fire that refined your vision. The stillness became the training ground for your discernment. The absence of answers forced you to grow roots deeper than explanation. You began to hear differently, to see differently, to move differently. You started releasing the counterfeits. You began to question the masks around you. You started shedding identities that never belonged to you. And heaven watched all of it, knowing that the moment you outgrew your former environment, the letter could finally be delivered without fear of sabotage. There is another layer you must understand. Your inheritance was written in generational ink. That means the scroll didn't just carry your name, it carried the weight of promises made long before you were born. But somewhere in your bloodline, those promises were violated. Agreements were broken. Curses were activated. Someone tried to erase your name and insert their own. There were hidden documents, secret signatures, unseen betrayals. Heaven saw it all. The delay was not just about time. It was about cleansing the bloodline, restoring the rightful heir, and breaking the agreements that were made in darkness. C.S. Lewis in Mere Christianity wrote, "It may be hard for an egg to turn into a bird. It would be a jolly sight, harder for it to learn to fly while remaining an egg. We are like eggs at present, and you cannot go on indefinitely being just an ordinary decent egg. We must be hatched or go bad." This metaphor captures the necessity of your delay. Your soul, wounded and surrounded by betrayal, was like an egg, unready to receive the full weight of your inheritance. The divine pause was the hatching process, breaking the shell of trauma and fear to prepare you for the flight of your destiny. Without this transformation, you would have remained stagnant, unable to soar into your divine purpose. Now the false coverings have been removed. The atmosphere around you has been cleared. The counterfeit voices have lost their influence. The people who were never for you have shown their true faces. And the most important shift of all, your spirit is now awake. You no longer crave validation from broken places. You no longer bow to fear dressed as wisdom. You no longer reach for hands that once pulled you into confusion. You are no longer begging for scraps at tables where you were meant to sit in authority. This awakening is what heaven was waiting for, and now that you've stepped into it, the scroll is returning to you. No more delay. No more deferral. No more spiritual sabotage. What was hidden is now exposed. What was withheld is now released. What was sealed is now being opened. The letter is in your hands, this time not as a mystery but as a confirmation. This time your eyes are clear, your hands are clean, your spirit is ready, and no one, no name, no curse, no manipulation can take it from you again. Chosen one, the scroll has been unsealed, and what is written inside does not just answer questions, it rewrites reality. This is not a metaphor. This is not a dream. This is a legal decree from the courts of heaven, and it begins with a sentence so sacred, so heavy, that even the angels stand in silence, as it is read, "To the one I loved the most, I left everything for you, but they tried to hide it." These are not poetic words. They are the final cry of a soul who once walked beside you, who wept for you, who saw what was coming and begged heaven for the chance to send this truth, through fire, through resistance, through divine timing. The letter reveals that everything you suspected was true. You were never overlooked by mistake. You were hidden by design. Your inheritance was real. But someone close, someone who called you family, someone who shared your blood or your home, worked behind the veil to erase you. They signed what was not theirs. They silenced what should have been spoken. They rewrote what heaven had already written. And while the world moved on, you were left wondering why things never aligned, why doors that should have opened stayed shut, why peace stayed just out of reach, why blessings seemed to pass you by. Now you know. It wasn't because you weren't chosen. It was because you were, and they knew it. The scroll details more than material wealth. It reveals spiritual legacy. It names land, contracts, birthrights, yes. But more than that, it names your authority, your access, your bloodline mandate. Inside this scroll is the truth of who you were always meant to be, the one who breaks the cycle, the one who carries the redemption, the one who restores what others destroyed. The inheritance includes legal matters that were covered up, financial blessings that were redirected, family secrets that were never meant to reach you. But they have. Now, because the veil has been torn, and there is more deep within the scroll lies, a hidden section sealed in a way only the chosen one can open. This part is not read with the eyes, but with the spirit. It reveals names, faces, moments in time. It brings clarity to betrayals that once made no sense. It confirms instincts you ignored. It uncovers memories you thought were dreams. This portion of the scroll does not just give answers, it breaks curses. It lifts shame. It restores what was stolen, not just from you, but from those who came before you. There is a generational shift activated every time a chosen one says yes. And you, beloved, are the one heaven waited for. The final words of the scroll are engraved with light etched into eternity. They do not fade. They do not change. They read, "Protect this one. What was left behind belongs to them and only them. No one else may touch it." This is heaven's command. The inheritance is sealed under divine protection. And now that it has been revealed, it cannot be denied again. Chosen one, the truth cannot remain buried any longer. The scroll has not only revealed your inheritance, it has also exposed those who tried to keep it from you. There were enemies cloaked as allies, smiles that hid strategies, words that praised you in public but cursed you in private. You felt it, didn't you? The unease in certain rooms, the shift in energy when your name was mentioned, the glances, the hesitation, the way they danced around the truth, but never dared to look you in the eye. That was never your imagination. That was discernment. And now heaven confirms it. You were not paranoid. You were protected. C. S. Lewis, in letters to Malcolm chiefly on prayer, wrote, "We may ignore, but we can nowhere evade the presence of God. The world is crowded with him. He walks everywhere, incognito. Your discernment of betrayal, the unease you felt was God's presence moving, incognito, guiding you through the deception that sought to hide your inheritance. The divine protection that shielded you was not a passive act, but an active force, ensuring that no false ally could derail the scroll's delivery. Your sensitivity to these hidden motives was heaven's way of keeping you aligned with your true purpose. The ones who tried to erase you were never strangers. They came close enough to touch your soul. Some shared your home. Some shared your blood. Some even claimed to pray for you while praying against you in secret. Jealousy disguised itself as concern. Control wore the mask of protection. Manipulation hid beneath the language of family honor and tradition, but their intention was always the same: to stop you from discovering what you carry. Because they knew, long before you did that, if you ever aligned with your true identity, everything they built on stolen ground would collapse. They feared your rise because your rise would mean their exposure. They worked in silence to keep you small, to keep you doubting, to keep you loyal to confusion. They convinced you to question yourself, to shrink your light, to delay your calling. Not because you were wrong, but because you were right. Because the anointing on your life threatened the false authority they claimed. They knew the moment you stepped into clarity, the inheritance would activate. The scroll would open, the veil would lift, and their secrets would unravel. Now their names are written, not to shame, but to warn. The scroll does not give them power anymore. It gives you understanding. You no longer owe them the benefit of your silence. You no longer need to pretend you didn't see what you saw. Heaven has recorded every whisper, every lie, every contract forged in darkness to keep your name hidden. And heaven has ruled against them. This is not revenge. This is justice. You are not being called to destroy them, but you are being called to release them. Cut the tie. Break the agreement. Walk away from the table where truth is not welcome. The time for tolerating manipulation is over. The time for entertaining guilt born from false obligation is finished. You are not here to carry their shame. You are not responsible for their betrayal. You were chosen to rise above it. You were chosen to expose it not with anger but with light. What they tried to do failed. The scroll has been delivered. The inheritance is in motion. And no one, not the liar, not the thief, not the false witness, can stop what heaven has now made visible. What was once concealed by fear has been revealed by fire. The door they tried to close has been reopened by divine authority. And now, the weight of that door will fall on anyone who tries to shut it again. Chosen one, what has been placed before you is not ordinary. This is not inspiration. This is not motivation. This is divine instruction, and heaven is watching what you do next. This scroll was not handed to you casually. It was forged through fire, intercession, and timing that stretched across generations. There is a cost to divine inheritance, but there is a greater cost to ignoring it. If you walk away now, if you scroll past, if you dismiss this as just another voice in the noise, you will not simply delay your blessing, you will interrupt the very line of destiny you were born to fulfill. This opportunity is not eternal. It is sacred, and sacred moments operate under sacred time. The window you are standing in right now was carved out of warfare, silence, and supernatural mercy. It cannot remain open forever. If missed, it may not return for years. If ignored, it may not return at all. That is not fear. It is spiritual law. Destiny requires agreement. Heaven has declared it. Earth must respond. C.S. Lewis, in The Problem of Pain, wrote, "God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our consciences, but shouts in our pains. It is his megaphone to rouse a deaf world. The urgency of this moment is God's megaphone shouting through the pain of your delays and betrayals to awaken you to the scroll now in your hands. This is not a time to ignore the call, but to respond with the full force of your faith, for the inheritance you are about to claim is the culmination of heaven's persistent cry to rouse you to your divine purpose. The enemy knows what this moment means. That is why distraction is already moving. Your phone will ring. Your emotions will shift. Fatigue will set in. Someone will interrupt, not by accident, but by assignment. Delay wears many disguises. Confusion poses as logic. Resistance dresses itself as not now. But none of it is divine. All of it is designed to rob you of the one moment that could unlock everything. Right now, the scroll is open. The gate is trembling. The realm of the Spirit is leaning in. The question is, will you? Heaven will not force what must be chosen. What is being offered cannot be handed to a passive spirit. Agreement is the access point, and silence is a decision. Indecision is delay. Delay is loss. What you've been praying for, crying for, fasting for, it's here. But it cannot land if your soul stays silent. The cost of ignoring this message is not just another closed door. It is a sealed destiny. And if you walk away what was meant to flow through, you will wait again, not because heaven is punishing you, but because heaven cannot violate your will. This is the hour of holy alignment. The realm of heaven is calling your name. The scroll is open before you. And the Spirit asks only one thing: will you receive it, or will you return to what never worked? This is not just an opportunity. This is a reckoning, chosen one. The inheritance is not just symbolic. It is not a vague promise of spiritual comfort. It is real, it is recorded, and it is waiting. The scroll you've been given holds more than encouragement. It holds activation. And what is written inside is not limited to heaven. It is appointed to manifest on earth. You were never meant to live under the weight of lack. You were never designed to survive off fragments. What belongs to you includes land, legacy, documents, resources, keys, names, and legal authority. Some of it was taken. Some of it was withheld. But all of it is returning. There is property in the physical realm tied to your bloodline, contracts that were signed in secret, inheritances that were redirected by deception, assets that were never meant to leave your hands. The scroll names them. The heavens have tracked every injustice. There are deeds in vaults, safe boxes untouched, letters never delivered, wills altered when no one was watching. These were not coincidences. They were spiritual assignments to keep you out of position. But those structures are collapsing. What was hidden is being revealed. What was locked is being reopened. What was denied is being reactivated. But the inheritance is more than money or land. It is restoration of everything that was stolen from your soul. Your confidence, your clarity, your identity, your name, your voice. The divine compass inside you that once pointed true before it was buried beneath manipulation, shame, fear, and silence. The inheritance is your mantle, your authority, your spiritual radar. It is the return of insight so sharp that lies can no longer hide beside you. It is the end of wandering. It is the end of confusion. It is the moment you no longer ask for permission to be who you've always been. The inheritance also includes relationships that were divinely sent but severed by sabotage. Heaven is releasing replacements, new alignments, kingdom partnerships, people who see you in the spirit and not through the lens of your past, friendships forged in fire, love that honors the calling, not competes with it. The scroll has prepared them. They are already on their way. And there is more. The inheritance is healing deep, cellular, generational, The kind that does not just fix pain but removes the roots of it. The kind that makes you walk differently, speak differently, rest differently. The kind that makes you dangerous to every system that once benefited from your brokenness. This healing will not come from effort, it will come from revelation. As you step into truth, sickness will lose ground. As you step into identity, restoration will flood your house. This is the inheritance. It is vast, but it is precise. It is holy, but it is tangible. It is protected, but it is waiting for your agreement. It does not arrive through striving. It does not manifest through begging. It responds only to alignment. And now that you have seen what was written, there is only one question left to answer. Will you step forward and take possession of what heaven kept sealed just for you? Chosen one, heaven will not leave you without confirmation. This is not a blind leap, it is a guided awakening. And because you have stayed, because you have listened, because you have opened your spirit to receive what others ignored, divine signs are already being dispatched to your atmosphere. Within the next 72 hours, 3 signs will arrive, not as coincidences, but as covenant markers. They are not random, they are sacred. They are coded in divine intelligence and perfectly timed to meet you where you are, to remind you that everything written in the scroll is already moving toward you. The first sign will come unexpectedly, something simple, something subtle, yet charged with holy electricity. A name spoken by a stranger, a dream that carries weight, a sudden shift in your emotions. When you walk past a certain place, you will feel the air thicken. The moment will pause. Your body will know it before your mind can explain it. This first sign is not a message, it is a door. And when it opens, something in your spirit will rise and say, "It's beginning." The second sign will bring clarity. Someone will contact you out of nowhere. A person from the past may reappear with strange timing. A document long forgotten may resurface. An opportunity you didn't chase will chase you, but do not be deceived. Not every open door is divine. This second sign comes with a test. Discernment will be required. You must not move out of fear or desperation. You must listen to the voice within. The right sign will not demand compromise. It will bring peace even in the unknown. You will know it by the way your soul exhales. The third sign will be personal, intimate, undeniable. It may come in the silence of night, in a whisper you cannot trace, in a song, a number, a memory, a phrase you haven't heard since childhood. It will touch a part of you. No one else sees the part that has waited for years to feel chosen. This third sign is heaven's final stamp, the signal that the scroll has been received, the inheritance activated, and the enemies dismantled. It will mark the moment your timeline bends. From that point forward, things will move quickly. Dreams will accelerate. People will reveal themselves. Answers will flood in and distractions will flee. You must not dismiss what seems small. Heaven hides miracles in plain sight to protect them from those who do not believe. These signs will be visible only to those who are aligned. The untrained eye will miss them. The distracted heart will scroll past. But you will know, because this time your spirit is awake. Your radar is activated, and you will recognize the fingerprint of God when it touches your world. When the signs come, do not hesitate. Do not delay. Write them down. Pray into them. Guard them. And follow where they lead. They are not destinations, they are instructions. Keys to unlock what was sealed. Maps to the hidden treasure. Clues from eternity. Hand-delivered by divine appointment. Chosen one. This inheritance is not just for your survival, it is for your assignment. What has been given to you is not meant to be hoarded, hidden, or diluted. It has been entrusted to you for a reason, far beyond personal comfort. You are not receiving this because you were loud. You are receiving it because you were faithful. You carried the weight in silence. You bore wounds without bitterness. You kept walking when you didn't see the road. And because of that, heaven has placed a mantle on your life, not just to receive, but to release. Not just to be blessed, but to become a blessing. Not just to be healed, but to bring healing to those who are watching you, hoping it's real. There are eyes on your journey. Some are watching in secret, unsure if God still moves. Some are watching with doubt, waiting to see if you'll fall. Others are watching with silent desperation, praying that your breakthrough becomes the proof that they too are not forgotten. Your rise will awaken their faith. Your clarity will answer their confusion. Your obedience will open a path for those who do not yet have the courage to walk forward. This is why your yes matters. This is why your response to the scroll is not just personal, it is prophetic. You are now carrying more than a story. You are carrying a signal, a frequency in the spirit realm that announces restoration is possible, that inheritance can still be claimed, that curses can be broken, and that truth cannot be buried forever. You are the evidence, the testimony, the living letter. You were not just chosen to be delivered. You were chosen to become the deliverer for others, bound by the same chains you've broken through. But with great restoration comes great responsibility. You must guard what you've been given. You must walk in wisdom. Not everyone around you will celebrate your awakening. Some will question it. Some will try to challenge it. Some will smile with their mouths, but war with their energy. That is why you must walk in discernment now. Protect your atmosphere. Guard your instructions. Move with heaven's timing, not man's pressure. Some will not understand you, but they're not supposed to. You were set apart, not set aside. The scroll that was handed to you is sacred. It is living, and it now flows through your every step, your every word, your every breath. This is not just an elevation, it is a transfer of spiritual weight. You've shifted dimensions. You've stepped into kingdom accountability, and now heaven will move through you. The world will not look the same, because you will no longer walk the same, and those who walk with you will either rise or fall depending on how they respond to the glory now resting on your life. This is your responsibility. This is your destiny. You are not just receiving a gift. You are becoming a vessel that carries light, a vessel that walks in truth, a vessel that confirms heaven still speaks, still moves, still restores. You were chosen not to perform, but to transform, not to impress, but to embody. And the world will know not because of your words, but because of the weight of what now rests upon you. Chosen one, the scroll has been opened, the truth has been revealed, the inheritance has been claimed, and now the decree is sealed. Heaven has recorded your name not just in light, but in legacy. You are no longer waiting, you are walking. You are no longer questioning, you are carrying. You are no longer reaching, you are rising. The realm of the Spirit has shifted to make room for the new identity you have stepped into. The delay is over. The silence is broken. The gate is closed behind you, and the throne has released what could not be delayed any longer. This is not a feeling. This is a ruling. The moment you said yes, whether in word, in tears, in breath, or in simple stillness, the heavenly court issued a final verdict. Release the inheritance to the rightful heir. Assign the angels to protect what is now in motion. Unlock the dimensions previously withheld. Rewrite the timeline. Accelerate the favor. Multiply the reward. Silence the accuser. And let it be known this one has returned to their appointed place. The winds are shifting. The atmosphere around you will begin to change. Conversations will sound different. Your name will be spoken in rooms you've never entered. People who once ignored you will feel a weight when they hear you speak. Environments that once drained you will no longer have access to your energy. This is not pride, it is divine boundary. You have been repositioned by the hand of heaven, and what is now upon you cannot be explained in natural terms. It is spiritual authority, and it is irreversible. From this moment forward, expect the unexpected. Expect favor from places you were once rejected. Expect provision to appear without striving. Expect instructions to arrive in visions, in dreams, in whispers that resonate deep in your spirit. Expect to feel moments of holy stillness where time feels suspended. Those are confirmations. Those are the signs of the scroll breathing through your life. Do not doubt them. Do not dismiss them. They are the residue of heaven resting upon your path. This decree comes with a final instruction. Protect the flame. The enemy will sense the shift and attempt to re-enter through the doors of distraction, fear, and nostalgia. But those doors are now closed. The voices of guilt and unworthiness must be silenced. You do not owe explanations to those who never saw your worth. You owe obedience to the one who never stopped writing your name in the records of redemption. Let your yes remain loud, even in the face of silence. Let your light remain fierce, even when others try to dim it. And let your spirit remain steady, knowing the scroll has already gone ahead of you. This is no longer a prophecy waiting to be fulfilled. This is fulfillment unfolding. You are now walking in what your ancestors prayed to see. You are now holding what generations were robbed of. You are now wearing what was tailored in heaven before the foundations of the world. The final line of the decree is written in a language only your spirit can fully comprehend, but it echoes in every dimension. It is finished. The air has risen, and nothing will be the same again. Let us pray. Father of light, judge of heaven's courts, Ancient of days, let this moment be recorded in eternity. Let the scroll that was once delayed now remain opened, and let nothing seen or unseen ever steal it from the hands of the one you have called. Today, in the name of the Most High, the Chosen One accepts what was written. The soul you formed before the foundation of the world now aligns fully with heaven's timing, heaven's truth, and heaven's authority. Every voice that once confused them is now silenced. Every chain that once held them is now broken. Every lie that once defined them is now cast into the fire. Let only truth remain truth, that sets free, heals deeply, and unlocks everything that was buried. I decree what heaven released today will not be reversed. What was sealed by divine fire cannot be tampered with by human hands. Let the angels assigned to this scroll now surround the Chosen One with swords drawn, wings stretched, and divine surveillance over every step, every word, every decision. Let confusion be turned into clarity. Let waiting be turned into movement. Let delay be turned into delivery. I declare a supernatural hedge around this soul. No monitoring spirit shall trespass. No generational curse shall reattach. No false agreement shall remain active. Every unauthorized covenant spoken, signed, or hidden is now broken by the blood of the Lamb. The Chosen One is no longer bound by past systems. They are now governed by divine design. Now, let the transfer begin. Let keys appear. Let documents surface. Let names be remembered. Let wealth flow. Let property be returned. Let the spirit of wisdom rest heavily upon their shoulders, so they will not be deceived by any counterfeit sent to distract or delay. Let their discernment be sharpened like the edge of a double-edged sword. Let their yes to heaven echo louder than every no from man. And to every demonic force that once whispered delay, guilt, or unworthiness, I speak this now: your assignment is terminated. You will no longer shadow the steps of this soul. You will no longer manipulate timelines. You will no longer block doors or sow confusion. Your access has been revoked by divine authority. Chosen One, take a deep breath. The scroll is yours. The oil is flowing. The timing is now. You have not been forgotten. You have been released. Walk boldly. Speak clearly. Rest deeply. Move prophetically. Heaven has written your name in fire, and your story is now a living testimony. In the name, above every name, the scroll is sealed, the air has risen, and the inheritance begins now. Amen.